Hello everyone, welcome to the second video of the .NET Core MVC with Resume project series. In this video we are going to create an MVC project and I'm going to explain to you what files do we have inside this project, how the folders are structured, what are launch settings, and we're going to look at the MVC architecture inside a .NET Core project. So let's not waste any time and jump into it. Let's start by creating an ASP.NET Core Web App MVC project. Click Next. Here I want to call it Resume and let's click Next. I want to do with the default setting with .NET 8. If you're using a higher version, .NET 9 is coming, the preview version is out and it's all fine. So the first page that you see here is the overview page that leads you to the .NET Core documentation, some documents about the IDE, and how you can publish your application. So these are all from Microsoft, and let's close this window. And at the bottom here we do have an output section and a package manager console. Here is where we can install our NuGet packages and create and execute our migrations to the database. Let's close this window as well. At the right side we have the folder structure of our solution. Since we are using MVC architecture, you can see controllers, models, and views. We also have some other things like dependencies. Any kind of DLL or packages that you have installed are going to be shown over here. There are many packages that you can access to by going into Tools and NuGet Package Manager. Here you can see the package manager console that we have closed it. You can also see the Manage NuGet Packager for Solution. It is a graphical view for the package manager, so we can close it, and here you have a graphical view. These are the packages that we installed. As you can see, no packages found because we don't have any packages yet. Here is the browse, and you can find any package that you think of. So for example, if you want to implement an email service, let's just search email. Here are lots of packages that will make your life much easier. You just need to click on it, select the project and hit install. And after you install it, here another section will be appear that is called packages. Then we have the properties folder. Inside properties folder you have a lunchsetting.json. If we open it, you can see the inner launch setting of our application. What I mean by inner launch setting, the Visual Studio have a launching system that you can select multiple launching settings over here. We can have it on HTTP, HTTPS, IIS Express, and WSL. IIS is a Windows feature that Microsoft have developed that you can turn it on from the features of your Windows, and it will give you the ability to host your websites on a Windows server or a Windows machine. And IIS Express is a smaller version that is built inside Visual Studio, and we can use it to test our application. In here we are going to use HTTP for the testing of our application because it is easy and we do not encounter any problem. And over here you can see the settings of our launch system. Here you got IIS settings, what port should it use to be run, and here is HTTP. There are some profiles for HTTP, HTTPS, and IIS Express. Then we have www.root, which is a special folder for all of the public files that we are going to have inside our project. For example, CSS files, JavaScript files, or any kind of library like Bootstrap, Bulma, or jQuery, or anything else that you want to add to your website that is going to be public. Any kind of picture that you're going to use inside your template, they are all going to be stored inside www.root, which is also called the static files. Now let's just run the website so we can see what the .NET Core provided for us. Let me bring the page over here, and here you can see the default template that we will get after building an MVC project. Here we have two pages, one of them is privacy and one of them is home. and the default MVC project will import Bootstrap for us and set it up. So we can just use Bootstrap, but since we are going to use our own template and we are not going to use Bootstrap, we do have the custom CSS that the template is providing for us. We are going to delete the files, but not now, maybe in next episode. So here are the libraries of Bootstrap, jQuery, and the things that the default template is using. And let me just play it again so show you how the public files will work. Here inside the Solution Explorer, inside www.root, we do have a CSS folder with a site.css file inside of it. So the way that we can access it is just by saying / and the name of the folder, which is CSS, and the name of the file, which is site.css. Here you can see the file that is inside our public folder. And it is accessible without any kind of validation, any kind of restriction. So we do not put any C# code or logic inside this folder because it is accessible to everyone. Now we get to the famous MVC structure. Let's start with the controllers. Here inside the template that the .NET provided for us, we do have a home controller. If we open it, here you can see some methods are already being added here. We do not need any logger, so I'm going to delete the logger and simplify our code. The methods that we are going to put inside our controller are going to be mostly iActionResult. iActionResult is a return type that can return multiple things. As you can see here, it is returning a view. Let's run the application one more time so you can understand it better. So here we do have two pages. One of them is home and one of them is privacy. And inside our controller, we do have two methods. One of them is index, one of them is privacy. The home page is the index page that we do have, and the privacy page is the privacy method that we have inside our controller. So if I just put a breakpoint here inside privacy and click on the privacy page, you can see it is going inside the method and it is returning a view. The view can also get a view name, but if you put the view name empty, the page that will be returned here will be a page named similar to privacy. So let's open up our view folder. Here you can see we do have a home folder, which is the same name as our home controller. And inside the home folder, we do have an index and a privacy. And here inside return view, it will return the view that is as the same name as our method. And it is also should be inside a folder with the same name as our controller without the name controller. The C# will cut the controller and you just need to put the original name that you have in mind. You can also see that our files inside our view are of type CSHTML. CSHTML is a file that is a combination of C# and HTML. If we open the privacy page, here you can see it is using some basic HTML tags like p tag, h1, and it is also using some C# codes. The C# codes will be inside an @ and two brackets. Here you can write all of the C# that you want. The view data is basically a way to pass data from controller to view, but I'm going to show it to you how to use it in the next episodes. You can also use the @ without the brackets to print some data inside your HTML file. But you might have a question in mind, where is the other parts of my HTML file? Well, we do have here a shared folder, and inside the shared folder we do have a layout. Inside the layout you can see the base structure of your HTML. And inside this structure, here inside the body tag, we do have a container and we do have a main, and inside of it we have a render body. The render body will render any view that our controller has passed. So when we return the privacy, the content that we need inside our privacy are only the logic and the body that we are going to show inside our website. Because because in most of the pages our header, footer and the structure is going to be the same. But in future episode we are going to separate the header and footer, so you'll learn how we can manage the pages that do not need a header or a footer. Then at last we do have models, and right now we don't have anything besides an error review model, which we are not going to use right now, and I'm going to explain to you how you can return error pages, like how to create 404 pages or other error pages. We also do have some other CSS/HTML files here, like view import or view start, that I'm also going to explain to you what this does at the right moment when we are going to need to use them, because I want you to see how it works visually so you can learn it better. So just sit back, relax, and let's go to the next part.